Let's see if it works.
Okay. Are we on?
Yeah,
we're on.
Let's see.
We're on. Let's see.
Let's see. Is it going to be...
Who's it going to be?
I
Roll the dice. I say Robbie.
Israel, KK, Robbie, they're usually really quick.
Benzomatic is usually, but...
Benzomatic's quick.
Benzomatic's good. K-Heads is good.
They're fast,
Mary and Spy. Oh, a new one! Why, hello!
Well, yeah, a first there.
A first!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
LBF 5984.
Wow, you guys. Hi. Carolina Dream. Great to see. Oh, there's our KK. There's everybody.
Lauren Chavez.
Awesome.
Hilde.
Good to see
Soul
you.
Knowledge.
The Norman. Robbie. Hi. Oh, there's Wayne. Even it all. Hi, Wayne. Oh, goodness. Mike, say that one.
Which one?
The A.
Rosale Eduardo?
Yes, Rosale Eduardo. Hello. I always make Mike do those things so I don't butcher it. Hey, there's Israel. Good to see you, Israel.
Are we ready? Yeah, and I can't wait to talk about Christoph, but we want to talk about this first. I didn't watch Christoph Tchaikovsky in about a week, and so I saw he had a couple of interesting live streams, and we're going to touch on that because it's about the nature of reality itself that he's picking up on, and I think it's because, again, you're brought up in certain traditions. You're not prepared for the nature of reality. You're simply not prepared. RCB was ready to rumble.
Yes, it's time to go. And I was checking on one of our other moderators, and he was just saying he was in a super deep sleep, and it just was kind of unusual for him. And boy, a lot of people have been experiencing weirdness.
Yes. Yeah, we were up really early, and then we took an early afternoon nap in between working. And it was nice for me. It was definitely deep and traveling about in the astral. And Diana, great to see you.
Soul Knowledge TV. Me and my wife watch you. Often we rarely comment. Well, thanks for coming in and saying hi. That's nice to know. It's good to know to kind of gauge the other end of things.
There's Peter, Texas, Poland. I wonder, are you making your way back to Texas, Peter?
Are you going to be meandering in Texas, huh, Peter? Huh? Get yourself a cow and a horse. There you go. Last night I was such in a blissful state of mind, and I slept. Just felt so much. Oh, that's great. Sounds like you got a good surge there.
Awesome.
Israel. Great.
Awesome. Yeah, it's interesting time. So we did do this. This was about Zhang Zhuang. So this was all about learning how to gather the life force, gathering the qi, and very powerful practice. This is a Patreon and also a member on YouTube exclusive that we did at this point. We will be probably a little irregular in the next upcoming week in videos. They'll be a little spotty as we'll be attending to some things. But we always try to keep you guys as informed as we can and try to give you a lot to work with. Boy, wouldn't one of these be fun? I mean, that would just be a blast.
What do you mean one? I want two like they have.
Yeah, but then you're going to want to race.
Yes, and then I want to race, and then I want one big enough for at least Sita, and you need one big enough for Rama, and Sassy can go in our lap. So
Sassy's easy.
I already have the plans made, so we just need to manifest him.
So this is really, it's like Jetsons, but it's really not too advanced. It's a drone. It's just a drone big enough for you to sit in. I mean, should be fairly complicated. They say they cost $128,000. I would guarantee you they should be able to do that for like 25% of that cost easy. Because I mean, look at it's like a roll cage. It looks relatively simple. Why is it $128,000? And some people might think that's nothing, and it's well worth it. What do you guys think?
I know. I want two. I want two of them. I wonder what's up. I know this is going somewhere. We finally made it to the Jetsons, and They've even worked on us with trying to give us fake food. Remember in the Jetsons, like they would push these buttons on a machine and out pops this little pill, and the pill is a steak. Yeah, right. Yeah, they've been trying that on us too. Don't fly through a no-fly zone.
I could see Susan Donahue doing this. She would be zipping about, going to meetings. Why not? This would be so fun. Of course, it would be kind of probably a mess to regulate the air traffic. Can you imagine? I think you could only have these en masse if the population was 10% of what it is or less. I mean, can you imagine?
I know.
As many cars as we have, if we had these bumping about up in the sky.
Oh my gosh, a fender bender in the sky. You're right, Israel. Those blades. Ouch. And Diana, lots of EMFs. You're right there too. Maybe I'll just get out my old dragon. He's funner anyway.
And Bobby said his boy, Elroy. Elroy.
Yeah.
I never caught that one.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah, that is so cool. And the technology, it's going to be just hot and heavy for now, between now and 2030. Very transformative. But, it's not perfect yet. It's not, it's got a ways to go. As you can see, this, I guess that's the maid. Just made a mess.
Oh my goodness sake. She got confused.
Mirrors are a problem, as they, I guess, perhaps don't have depth perception. Think about that. But do we have the proper depth perception? Are we living in a holographic reality? Is our real reality flat? And, again, some scientists do believe that we're living in a projection. It's holographic, but actually, if you do go into the Sanatana Dharma, we're living in a dream within a dream within a dream. Well, let's look at the Schumann, and we see it was pretty elevated, just little breaks here and there. At the moment, it seems like it's headed down some, but it's been pretty intense, and a lot of people are really, really feeling it. And you have another eruption off the far side of the sun. This time early Thursday morning, 4:15 UTC. Source region, likely the old sunspot region, 4246, continues to approach the east limb and will begin to turn back into view within the next 48 to 72 hours. The KP has been slightly elevated too. It was at a minor storm 5, and now it's back down. It's just right at 3. So things just felt weird. They really have felt weird overall.
And Saul was mentioning that Carmack's cut 350 positions for AI. Yeah, that's really going on, and that is frightening a lot of people, as it should. But you know what? What could come of it? People might just say, hey, you guys got to put a break on AI. There's got to be some type of boundary.
Well, we don't have to have this system. The reality is there's enough resources locked up in the hands of the world's billionaires that everybody could have, a good spot to do whatever they want with a little chunk of this reality.
Indeed, they could.
Yes, and yes, please do hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to all 3 channels on YouTube. And we'd always love to have you guys join us over at Patreon. There are exclusives over there.
We do lives on the tablet, and you can see us and interact with us and talk with us. A lot of them, when we do go on, it's been about health. So if you are having problems, it's a good time to grab us and get us individually.
Yes, and there'll be some more impromptu lives, probably using our phones or pads on location, on different locations coming up. So interstellar comet 3i Atlas surges 16-fold in brightness with a blue glow after solar close approach. Comet 3i, third eye Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object in our solar system, reemerged on Sunday, on October 29th, I should say, October 29th, 2025, after passing within 1.36 AU of the Sun, astronomical units, which is the measure from the Earth to the Sun, showing a 16-fold brightness increase from magnitude 10.5 to 7.5, and an unusual blue hue observed by NASA's SOHO Stereo A and GOES 19 spacecraft. This rapid brightening, 7 times faster than typical Oort cloud comets, is linked to intense carbon dioxide outgassing, while anomalies like high nickel content and ecliptic orbital alignment fuel scientific analysis without evidence of artificial origins. Upcoming observations by telescopes, including Hubble and European Space Agency's JUICE mission, aim to probe its composition and behavior as it approaches Earth on December 19th. Wow, yeah, is this the one? Is this the big comet that everybody was talking about? Is this, or, again, is it even really a comet, as many people doubt? We were listening to a couple of scientists. We listened to The Angry Astronaut and others. And, again, the composition that we see is typical for a spacecraft and not necessarily what we've been told comets are. And boy, blue glow, has this been verified, Grok? Yes, it is actually glowing blue, according to Grok. And it's puzzling experts. But it's natural. Don't worry, it's natural, even though it rapidly got brighter than anybody ever expected or any other comets have. Don't worry, it's natural.
It's all okay. It's all okay. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. No shiny objects anywhere.
Oneness couldn't sleep last night. We go from these different extremes. Cindy couldn't sleep last night at all.
Oh, gosh. I did. I went to bed around 9 and it was spotty until 12:37 exactly, and there was no getting back to sleep. It was rough. It's still rough. I'm ready for bed.
It is all a show. But then again, what is our reality really? Is all this just one big show? Is it to bring about emotions? And is it to bring about, ultimately, emotions are energy, and they are, in many cases, when we are really intensely emotional, positive or negative, the emotions are intense and they can be used as fuel. So that is definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's something that I always kept in my back pocket once I understood what our emotions were being used for fuel. It really gave me that incentive to pull myself up and out, because I didn't want to be fueling that. Yet sometimes I can get so angry and it's really hard to control, but you have to keep circling back and pull yourself up and out of it, because you will bring yucky things in.
Coincidence or not, it's crazy how 3i Atlas, just as it reached perihelion, coincided with these immense solar activity and huge CMEs. And the comet turned blue, which, again, blue Kachina. Yeah, blue Kachina, red Kachina. Now, blue Kachina is kind of the harbinger. When you see blue Kachina, the time is at hand. Big changes. The return of the true white Pahana, the true white brother, again, which some have taken to be, Pleiadian-like beings. Interesting. Again, it's going to take off its mask. So it's been wearing a mask. So does that mean verification that it's really a ship and that it really is seeding the next level of consciousness for those that are ready to handle it?
Yeah, I mean, taking off its mask and saying, "Hey, I'm not just a big rock in the sky. I'm something different." But energetically, you guys, I'm really feeling this, and so many of you are too, and it makes me wonder where it's going to go. And even though it is just one big show, it's certainly a show with a lot of consequences, and it does matter, like the decisions we make for ourselves, the choices we make for ourselves have a lot of consequences in this big show. I wish sometimes things were a bit easier and a lot more fair. But, right now we have what we have, and I think we just need to keep moving forward and do the best with what we've got. And I think it's going to get better. When frequency goes up, it's not the easiest thing to go through. It's actually quite difficult. People think of high frequency as something as like, fluffy rainbows and butterflies. It's not all about that. There is a dark, difficult side to waking up and moving higher up in frequency, and that's actually a lot of pain. But at the same time, if you're going through pain, that's a big opportunity looking right at you saying, here, let's fix this.
Mm-hmm. Feeling a bit wiped and energetically charged. That seems to be the new norm.
Yeah, insomnia.
It really is. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. It really is like a sine wave. So, yeah, what's going on with that? And, this was Stefan Burns talking about 6 big CMEs, and the hyperactive sunspots are turning to face us. So, will we be seeing some disruptions? Will we have some big outages? What's really coming? Is it really the famous blue Kachina, the Hopi, again, of the Four Corners area? Yeah, so famous for their prophecies. The blue star in the heaven, Comet 3i Atlas, and the prophecy of renewal, because that's ultimately what it is. Yeah, and look at this, must be Grok verified. It's got a little Grok check on it. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, it's good. Grok said so.
Thank you, Grok.
Everybody is looking to Grok and chat. Yeah, for the truth. Look within. Look within for the truth. What does your instincts tell you? So, yeah, everything seems to kind of match. And, this is somebody that's an amateur astronomer. And it makes them think of, again, the Hopi. The blue star Kachina's dance. The Hopi people, the peaceful ones, the American Southwest, have garnered their prophecy for millennia, passed orally through elders like Thomas Banya Sia. These tales describe 4 worlds destroyed by humanity's imbalances, floods, fires, and ice, and our current 4th world teetering on the edge. The 5th world, a paradise of harmony, awaits for those who heed the signs. Central to this is blue star Kachina, Sasquatsoya, I think that's how you say it, Sasquatsoha, a celestial spirit who appears as a brilliant blue star, visible even by day. She descends to the dance in the Hopi plazas, her movements a sacred rhythm calling all to awaken. At peak, she removes her mask, unveiling raw truth. This triggers the day of purification. Earthquakes, floods, societal unraveling, not as punishment, but as the earth's compassionate shake off corruption, greed, war, disregard for the land. The true white brother, Pahana, enters here, an elder brother from the east, returning with the missing half of a sacred stone tablet etched with the Creator's laws. The blueprint for balance, clad in a red cloak or cap, like a pattern of a horned toad, he distinguishes himself from false Pahanas, the greedy impostors who sow division. He doesn't conquer, he restores, guiding the faithful into renewal. As one elder shared in a rare, trusted revelation, Pahana's essence resonates with the Christ figure, a redeemer who arrives not to dictate, but to heal, withheld from outsiders until genuine dialogue replaced imposition. So it's not abstract doomsaying, it's a blueprint for now. Yeah, absolutely. And there are other parallels we can see with other traditions as well. As you look over here, 12, well, this is a little bit past the time. But yes, it's gone past perihelion. It has survived. And, did you not know it was going to survive? Of course it was going to survive. And it turned blue. That's a big one.
It is. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Miss Diana and Miss Susan Donahue. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for your help there and over on Ko-Fi, your support on Patreon. Thumbs up. Everything really, really helps keep us going so we can keep up the content. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate you so very, very much. And then here you have another take on it. NASA just spotted a 10 billion year old interstellar body. Again, truly, that is an assumption because they don't really know exactly where it came from. I've seen some channelers say that it literally came from Andromeda, which would make a lot of sense because it's kind of, well, it's a galaxy that's merging with ours. It's almost like a twin galaxy when you get down to it. And so they say it's giving off something. It's...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is this the gift that keeps on giving or what? This sounds scary.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, some expected it to fall apart again. What is going on? Is it falling apart? Or what did it release?
I don't get a good feel off this thing.
Well, the 3-Eye Atlas itself doesn't scare you, but...
No, 3-Eye Atlas itself, but that picture, I don't like that picture.
Well, yeah, in case you didn't notice, when we look at this picture, right? JAXA Sun Tracker Cam. Object 3-Eye Atlas fragment trails. You know, I always look at everything, and I don't care if it's from NASA or whatever. I always look at it kind of like, is this real or is it not? But when you look at that, and then you look at this.
It looks similar.
Doesn't that feel the same? I mean, it feels the same. And we got blue. That.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
That.
It's almost like an excitement feeling I get in my gut. Like this overwhelming, like, oh my God, something's happening. Like
it feels like something big. We all feel it's like that pregnant pause before you're waiting for like the explosion, or like you saw flashes and you're waiting for the booms.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much like that. And I mean, this picture, I guess it's like, oh my gosh, it's here, you know, that it thing that we all talk about. You know, what exactly is it? You know, it's a big change. So that's what I see. It's almost like the emotions are overwhelming when I look at it. It's interesting. And it just feels like there's little entities scattered off in there. And I don't know that that's all good. But I guess I can be fearful of change. And those little creatures, whatever's in there, they're definitely going to bring change.
What do you see?
I see all kinds of, like, the earth could be reseeded with something else than what we're used to, you know, different types of beings or animals. It feels like there's an entourage of beings, and it's very overwhelming. And that's why I said I didn't like it, because it's overwhelming. There's a lot of energy in it.
Well, we are returning to the time of myth and legend, and I do think we're going to see a lot of beings that haven't been visible to us for a very long time. I think that's coming. So yeah, I mean, when I look at the two, it feels like it's a match. It really, really does. Again, spurting ahead of orbit, erupting from behind sun. Curious. And captured also here, you can see telescopes from Tenerife and Hawaii. Yeah, you know, this is what Cindy felt too from early on, that it's here to bring new life, to change things.
You know, to bring a level of equality, like equalizer, sort of.
Yeah, restore balance, restore harmony. That's really, again, when we look to the Hopi prophecy of the white Pahana. Yeah, you know, it makes sense. You know, this is all about restoring balance, because we've been under that dark matrix, which has been now revealed for a big chunk of the people on the planet. Yeah, you could recognize that it's all been a living lie, and we realize that now. So what is the real reality? Well, life abounds. That's the ultimate. This whole reality is created for consciousness to explore.
Oh, goodness. Thank you, Israel. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Israel. We appreciate you too. There's Peter. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Thanks, you guys, so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Yeah, we really can't say enough how much we appreciate everything that you guys do for us and being part of this family, because it's a very special family. And man, 8 years now, and here we are. Are we actually watching the Blue Kachina? So what comes next? Well, it's probably going to be a little bumpy ride. I think it's like buckle up. I think ultimately the outcome is good. It's going to be a new world coming, new reality coming. We've never gotten from the guides, the massive destruction that has been, spoken of. Is there going to be some big changes? Yeah, again, the earth has to wash herself of the system that has had no respect for life. Yet, I don't think it necessarily has to be as bad as what we've seen perhaps in other ages. This one was very curious, strange phenomenon here. I was asking Cindy, what is this just a villager with a lantern? But no, it doesn't seem like it is.
No, I mean, this is something that, again, it excited my insides. Wasn't sure really what to think about it. Obviously, it's an orb. It's not someone with a flashlight, because I don't feel someone could move that fast across the mountainside, going up or down. And there's so much video on this, live video. I really believe this, and I think this is something tells me that this is one of the things that creates some of those fields that we see. What are those things called?
Crop circles.
Crop circles. Yeah, I think it's something that could create crop circles. So this was very interesting. I feel it's credible. It's another thing that really makes you go, wow, and awe.
I mean, that almost looks like the djinn that we saw to a degree.
Close. It does excite my insides, but the djinn that we saw, I guess the difference is it was more had a human form, kind of. This is just an orb, and maybe that's what makes it not so abrasive to me. It's an orb, but still there's a concern there. Like, I wouldn't want to go looking for it or go close to it. It could have energy that doesn't vibe very well with our 3D bodies. We always should be aware of that these energies could cause problems with our 3D bodies. They're very different.
And again, what do we see? It looks like an orb, right? It's just a flaming orb. So it's interesting, because I'm kind of going in a direction with all this. And then we have people that are a little more entrenched in the geopolitical side of things. Something's going on. Top Trump officials are moving onto military bases to get away from left-wing protesters. What's going on? We got the quick reaction force. We know about it. It's got to come from all the different states. We understand that the Insurrection Act could be invoked. But, shoot, this one first. But the thing is, again, moving top officials onto military bases for safety threats. Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, they're all relocating onto on-base housing at Washington area military sites like Fort McNair and Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. Why? Well, is it the potential for that civil war? Or is it something else? This really gets you thinking about, oh man, obviously this type of movement could make you think World War III. It might make you think the incoming asteroids, the earth changes that we're talking about, are they getting ready for that type of stuff? Even potentially maybe some ETs showing up that maybe the top political officials are not thrilled with?
Yeah, you have to kind of ask all the questions. Why is this going on? And of course there's safety concerns. There's safety concerns for everyone everywhere, but then why just this handful of people? And what is Trump really doing with, dropping all the codes about, gold, the golden dome and Fort Knox and getting his golden crown and what exactly is going on? We know that there is something. There is absolutely something. Is he referencing, a new financial system, a new gold-backed system? What is he saying? What is he doing? I kind of feel like we're fixing to go through a big change, and everyone's jockeying for a position, which is what they do.
Now this one I wasn't going to even show just because I could hear that the lady's in a car and she's got a baby. So you think about something on the windshield or a light reflecting. This was sent in to Mr. MBB. But it's here where it goes, if it was something reflecting, wouldn't you still see it? Instead of going behind the tree? Right? So that's the only thing that gave me pause, is it does look like it disappears behind the tree. I don't know. Nothing would surprise me at this time.
And when I felt that one, I felt a little tinge of, that's fake. But then if you think of holograms, it feels like a hologram. It just feels so weird, this thing. And yeah, you got to consider when it goes behind the tree, it does disappear. So I don't know. And then these are just coming out of the woodwork, these sightings, just that launch off the moon and another thing off the moon the other day. Really, really big changes. And I know the Galactics did have a channeling a couple months ago, and they were saying that we wouldn't be able to deny any longer. There would be so much in the sky, and I think we're going there. I think the only folks who don't really know or are not awake are those that don't want to be awake. They're like deliberately like sewing their eyes shut, and that's a very fearful place to be, I think. But that's their life, that's their choice, and we should always respect that. Sometimes people have reasons. Maybe they just can't fathom the idea of another life. Maybe they will go nuts. Sometimes higher self protects us from those things if it knows we're going to crack.
And this is Jupiter, and it's supposed to be a green light down there on Jupiter. There's been a lot of odd stuff on Saturn, and then of course Europa is very fascinating in and of itself. But it looks like somebody named Valerie maybe was skywriting here in Jupiter, did a little signature there. Again, AI could do anything. But the reality is, yeah, we've never been alone. And this was a fun one. So this one is Christoph talking about Admiral Richard Byrd, and basically like saying, what did Admiral Byrd find in Antarctica? And he goes, he says, I don't want to talk about flat Earth or any of that, really. But then what does he do? Oh, he comes out with, well, the universe is flat. Oh, yeah. And, it was just, this was a real fun one. It was a lot of fun. And, it's a holograph. He's looking at it. He's feeling into it. And what he picked up on was that they found technology that can be utilized to create a hologram. So it gets you thinking about Project Bluebeam and all that type of stuff. This was in Antarctica that Richard Byrd found that type of technology down there. Of course, according to the story, they were run off by Nazis basically in saucers. And then at a latter point, we ended up having them going over the White House. And of course, we had also at one point the Battle of LA with saucers seen over Los Angeles. But what he picks up is a lot of stuff that he's He's having a hard time putting words, and he doesn't want people to think he's crazy. But he's picking up on the holographic nature of our universe, and that our universe is one of many universes. And yet he sees it as oblong and flat. And the thing that he sees is that our consciousness, however, are in spheres. We navigate in spheres. So, I mean, I thought this was brilliant. This was one of his best, I think, because it goes into the nature of reality. And as somebody that's really kind of specialized a lot in the Eastern side of things, Taoism, the Sanatana Dharma, Buddhism, of course, Hinduism, and other forms of Eastern ways of looking at things, which really coincide with the Western mystery traditions. You recognize we're in a dream within a dream, and he is seeing that our reality, our 3D reality, is kind of codependent to another reality, which we are in also, that mirror each other. And what I think he's seeing, it comes to me strongly that he's seeing the astral plane. So as we've said many times, I've said that the astral and our 3D embodiment are two sides of the same coin, so to speak. Yet there is a higher level than that, which, in some ways, like what Cindy's gotten, is in some ways, it's almost like we're up like Neo in the Matrix, plugged into this reality, having all these experiences, which to us seem extremely real. But when we're in the dreamscape, typically we're in the astral plane, which it's the other side of this coin. And he's picking up on that they need each other. The energy of one is dependent on the energy of the other. Now, in deep studies in Taoism, that is basically part of it. That's recognized. In fact, it's also thought in Taoist philosophy that you can't go forever. You can't go forever, so to speak, without taking another incarnation in the astral plane, because you'll at some point in time run out of or run low on the life force energy and need to take a body in order to create a certain level. We are able to, and this is why I've always valued Qigong as highly as I have, and it's always been, for the most part, a daily practice for, going back to the 80s. Because the life force that you can take in, it helps you in the astral plane. It helps you in your next embodiment. And in some way, shape, or form, I do think it helps you even up into the higher dimensions.
Oh, for sure. It definitely is something that we all should do. The Qigong is something that I wish they taught it in kindergarten, because it's so, so good for the body. It's so good for the body, mind, spirit, circulation, grounding. I mean, it touches on all the meridians. It's just kind of a constant conditioning that I wish we had.
JW is in the house. So JW shares that the agency just had everyone sign furlough extensions valid 31 October through 29th November 2025. It doesn't mean the shutdown shall necessarily last that long. It's just what it is. And
interesting.
Yeah, that's again, JW is, I think it's okay to say, he's part of the bigger power structure out there, and he is a friend, and he's been with us for years and years. So yeah, that's interesting to note. I do think we're on the brink of some really major revelations and big changes. So I thought it was just a fabulous episode with Christoph picking up on this. So in a way, yeah, the flat earthers are right in a way, but we operate here in spheres. Think about this when we look at the sun and all suns, all stars, right? They're spherical. The earth, is, from the relationship that we have here on the planet, it is basically spherical, but reality is it's being projected from a 2D plane of existence onto this, which appears to be, again, spherical in nature. This is how the lokas, the worlds, work. And every star is a being. And yet, when you see spirit orbs, those are entities. When we look at elementals, ultimately, they can have some forms. But often you just see them as circular little lights going around. I think Diana was talking about those brown mountain lights again up in Appalachia. Everybody is pretty familiar with the little people and the elementals and the nature spirits that can be actually seen and heard sometimes. Well, yeah, there's this was a great session again. And maybe it was something that could occupy a whole live in and of itself. But what he found is basically the nature of reality itself, and it was focusing on Richard Byrd and Antarctica, and he talks about us being batteries, and he talks about our emotions create energy that keep other beings alive. But in some way, too, our emotions keep us creating other worlds to be explored.
Don't they, though? In so many ways. And even inside of our body are other beings, and outside of our body, too. So I think it's best if we support the inside of our body and be mindful of our emotions and what we're supporting external our body, but our cells and our blood, everything about us, our emotions. When we have an emotion, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, it travels through the blood system and it radiates out from there. And that usually is the calling. If we're in a bad mood or if we have a bad day, that is the crack in the energy field that can bring other entities to you, and then they feed off of your light, because now your light is escaping that double membrane bubble that's around you yourself. So we have to be mindful of everything inside and outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Monsters Inc. It's so true. But there is also a natural order, and so it gets me thinking too about the devas, those beings we call the devas, because they do come in all different shapes and sizes. And in Buddhist philosophy, they recognize the top of the Devic kingdom, these very, very large creator gods. That's what they are. They're enormous creator gods, literally creating worlds. But we're all creator gods. We're just kind of in training still here. But we will continue to progress and to create new realities through our experiences. Your emotions are like the key to so much, if not everything. It's all about controlling our energy and utilizing it in a powerful, constructive way. Recognizing, again, that when we die, we're just stepping through one door into another reality. Because ultimately, we have forever. Think about that, because that could be in some ways intimidating and scary. At least it hits me sometimes like that when we think, okay, we are eternal, so to speak, and you're going to be creating something, so you want to guard your thoughts. It's so important to always be not spiraling down into a negative place. It's really important, again, when we are doing acts of kindness for others, when we are trying to lift others up and help others, that automatically helps us, because it just starts snowballing everything in a positive direction.
When people get together and they share good memories, fun times, things of that nature, it's not just laughs and a good time. You're exchanging those happy chemicals. You're putting yourself in a state of healing, and that's why I really think it's wonderful when we do these videos and everyone gets together and you guys bounce off of each other and you support each other, and you talk with us, and it's just wonderful. I think it creates a very healing type of environment.
Yeah, this is just fabulous stuff. If you get the time, I always run it fast and just kind of skip ahead. So this is the other part that we've gotten the same information from the guides. I can't explain it because I'm embodied, but I understand the concept to a degree. We can live in these spheres simultaneously. So he's talking about these different spheres. So when we come out of that linear experience into the true holographic experience, this is how we operate. And this is, again, the nature. Look at a cell. Well, from a microscope, it might look to be circular and flat, but again, 3D, it does have depth and volume. And, whether we're looking at all the little cells and everything bopping about in the bloodstream, you could transpose that to a city loaded with people bustling and hustling around. Every single cell, every little amoeba is a conscious entity. And it's operating on this plane of existence. So, it's really, honestly, just completely mind-blowing how many entities are here, but yet ultimately it's just one. And that's the greatest mystery of them all. It's just one entity having the experience from an infinite number of angles and perspectives.
It is so interesting because when I was floating in front of Source, and that was something that I really, really needed at that time of my life. I was having such a hard time, but just the knowing that was Source and I was part of Source and everything was one, but I could only understand that when I was in a different space. And I think, it was just something that I needed so I could go back to reference every now and then, because we all have hard times and sometimes it takes something different to pull yourself up.
There you have it, flat earthers, or you flat universers now. The universe is flat. It's a long line. Oh, this was so fun, this one. Of course, from our point of view, it's huge. It's incomprehensible, but from a different aspect. And it is an illusion, but yet it's real. And again, we live in spheres bumping up against other spheres, spirit orbs. Bigger spirit orbs we call stars. Those are bigger entities. They've been here longer. They've accumulated more of the life force, the chi, the ether, to themselves. They've had trillions of more incarnations and lived in a myriad of different worlds. And this is where we are heading. And as I love it. He's like talking about, we're looking in a mirror. The other reality is like a mirror. It's a reflection of here. And the energy goes from one side to the other. So in Qigong, we know too, from the Taoist side of things, that if you want to become a Taoist immortal, then it better be your prime concern, gathering the life force. And it might take, a long time. And it might be something that the immortal aspect, again, is all relative, because we already are immortal, but you can maybe keep your vehicle in a Kali Yuga for hundreds of years, if not 1,000 years. And maybe going into a Bronze Age, you could keep your vehicle going for 10,000 years instead of the normal 1,000 years. Again, it's all relative. It's all relative.
Mm-hmm. It's all really crazy. Yeah, Diana, unconditional love. Absolutely. It was really wild for sure. And Robbie got to go to a Halloween place and they had, I don't want to say the words, but they had mannequins were all in funny positions. Yeah, I think it would be fun to go to a Halloween thing.
Yep. And there are many different universes within the universe. Again, the multiverse theory is correct. And so, but many different universes in the universe, I think also what he's seeing is timelines, which, again, we can shift timelines all the time. Do you guys want to shift? Then let's shift. I think we can do it. I think there is an individual shift, and then I think there is the collective. And I think, again, we're here called to shift the collective to all new perspectives and possibilities.
I know, JW, and I'm with you. I like the flat pizza too. Mike makes a mean pizza.
Yeah, we'll have to make you a pizza at some time. Absolutely. It's just so much fun. And I think he's a great soul. And thank Peter for introducing us to him, because, yeah, definitely a kindred soul. And he talks about the mirror universe. So when we look to, again, the astral side of things, we tend to bop from the astral back into a physical embodiment, back into the astral after we're done with an embodiment. But as he's picking up on, there's more than one embodiment really probably going on for most of us. I think, all that are called starseed light workers, older souls. I guess everybody, I'm just unclear personally on what's possible with, say, a clone or an AI Borg type of hybrid. I really don't know. I haven't gone deep into what is possible from the consciousness level. Because if there is only one consciousness, then wouldn't that have to come out of it, even if it is an AI construct?
It would, yep.
It would. I love the way she says that with her wisdom there. I listen when she speaks.
Sometimes that makes me nervous. Yep.
Yeah. So you prefer the round pizza pie, or you prefer the square pizza pie? You like thick crust or thin crust? This was just so much fun. It really, really was. And I love it too, because he doesn't think highly of himself. He knows his skills, but he always puts himself down. He's very self-effacing. He's not full of tremendous ego. At least not what I have seen. But he does also see some sort of existence that could be like a purgatory. So he says our world, this one, and the mirror one, they're in rotation. One depends upon the other. But then again, the higher self is up there above all that. So that's the reality. But the higher self could have more than one incarnation. And, again, I know I'm having an incarnation because I've seen it. I've woke up in the other person's body, and it's in Southeast Asia. I don't know, Singapore, Malaysia, somewhere around there. I know I'm having an embodiment over there. I dream about that area all the time, and it feels really familiar. So very, very odd.
It is all very interesting when we get to have those experiences. It's kind of hard to define them.
And they're happening more. Are you guys noticing that your dreams are they're going to another level? This is just part of the excitement that, Three Eye Atlas is bringing. That's part of it, but it's bigger than that, because it's everything building to the point where Blue Kachina reveals itself. Our star brothers and sisters, they will reveal themselves. They've been revealing themselves. And when we start looking at, well, how did they build all those fantastic things in the old world? Well, we'll know. We'll know, because they're going to help us again, and we're going to rebuild the world anew in a better manner, in a better system, and one that respects life and is much more constructive instead of destructive. And these guys, look at them showing a little intuition.
Aren't they so smart? They just know things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Cindy is going to give us a ding, guys. She's got her stuff. And look at these two strange bedfellows taking a nap together.
That is super sweet. And we want to say huge, huge, huge thank yous to everybody. Peter, Israel, Susan, Diana, you guys really, really help make these videos possible by supporting us and sponsoring us. We appreciate it, and I want everyone to put themselves in a happy place, think happy thoughts. We're going to manifest a better world, and we're going to move this world into alignment just to be a happier, safer, more wonderful place. So here we go. Thank you so much, you guys. Source bless and namaste.
Much love. Source bless and namaste, guys. Thank you again.